Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Welcome back to episode number 24 of the Altered States Unplugged podcast. I am one half of this dynamic duo. My name is Kyle Strubing. The other half is my life partner, my wife partner, Jojo Strubing. Jojo, baby, how we doing this morning?
We are good. We are here on a Saturday, which is fun.
Yeah.
You know, starting off the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
We've gotten so busy now that we have to start working on the weekends officially. I mean,
we didn't start working on the weekends. What are you talking about?
We've been working on the weekends. Yeah. I guess franchise stuff is now moving into the weekends. So.
Yes. We got another franchise this week.
Yes.
Huge. Excited about that. It was a customer who came in. She has a ton of passion for wellness, all the biohacks. I am so excited. So shout out to Adrian and Pam. Yeah. Fantastic. You guys are going to crush it. They're kind of going like one territory over from the Capel store. So we're going to be there to help as much as possible. Yeah. I mean, I am so excited. He has that young guy passion and he lives it. So it's great. It's great. I'm so excited.
I am so excited about these two. Yeah, this puts us at our 5th store. Yeah. So that's a really cool mile marker. I think last year we had a goal of hitting 4 this year, and we made it to 5. So
already.
So that's really exciting. And yes, like Kyle said, another one in DFW. They'll be coming to the Colony. Yeah. For our Dallas folks. So it's exciting. The brand is growing. We've got some incredible partners. It's so cool to see the strengths that each of these franchisees bring and working with them closely. It's been awesome. Like, they bring so many cool ideas and they're just making us better, and we see it already. So I'm really excited about it.
Not to go in too much on the franchise stuff, but that was one thing for us was when we were franchisees, there was so many people that had these little insights and areas of expertise, and they never pivoted or used any of them. And that was something that was very, very important to us. It's like, let's leverage these other people's expertise. We have a guy, Justin, who was on here before, was like, he's big into the numbers and the details and the tech, and it's huge. It's really elevated the brand now with Adrian and his passion. He's bringing me things that I have been on my radar, but he's like, I've tried these services and all this stuff. And then, he's kind of partnering with his mom and stuff, and she's like super accounting and number. And it's just, it's really, I'm so excited to work with these guys. I really am. So, and we have a lawyer too with Richie, so it's great.
We got it all.
Yeah, we got it all. The team is really coming together, and it's important to have those founding people there. Yeah. So I'm excited. But, should we get into it?
We'll dig
into it. So episode 24, babe, I'm gonna turn it over to you, but it's from sauna to cold plunge, the contrast therapies that we swear by. So why don't you kick it off?
Yeah. So, we all see it everywhere. We're seeing the sauna thing. We're seeing the cold plunge thing. I mean, I swear I can't get on TikTok or Instagram lately without, I'm probably getting highly targeted for these ads, but without some sort of cold plunging reel popping up. And especially with the summer, cold plunging really trends up, which, I mean, why wouldn't you want to get in a cold plunge in the summer? So, we wanted to hop on and really dive into some next level protocols for sauna and cold plunge. So we've talked about sauna usage on this podcast. We've talked about cold plunging and the benefits. But when you put them together, you really can do some next level things. And there's different protocols for what you're specifically looking to get out of it, whether that's anxiety or muscle recovery or like boosting your mood or boosting that circulation. There's some cool things you can do when you combine the heat and the cold. So we're going to go over these protocols, what's the research behind them. And so the next time you are in for a fire and ice session, you can try one of these and see how changing it up might give you some more benefits that you're looking for. So to kick off, we're going to just kind of recap for those of you that might be new to contrast. What is contrast therapy when we're talking about fire and ice or cold plunge sauna?
Yeah. So the way I look at it and kind of how I communicate it in the store is you have sauna and you have cold plunge. Both of them are fantastic, and you should do it, all the time individually. And I love it. I think it's great. But contrast therapy, in my opinion, is an entirely different beast in and of itself. I think there's different use cases for it. I think it should be timed a little differently, and it should take, essentially, and we'll show this, but you should be doing it for a while too. But for things very specifically, I really like contrast therapy. We'll get into a lot of that. But what you're doing is you're alternating the sauna and then the cold plunge, right? So you're talking hot and cold, or like we say in the store, fire and ice. What this is doing is it's stimulating that vasodilation, right? So that's expanding the blood vessels. So the heat is going to expand the blood vessels, and then the cold is going to shrink them down. So that's that vasoconstriction. So you have the dilation and constriction. Think of it like that. So you're pumping it in, and then you're pumping it out. So the blood is just going into your core in the cold plunge and then out to your extremities in the sauna. So you have this in and out effect, and it's super beneficial, right? A lot of it is it really trains your nervous system and your body's stress response system. A lot of these, we're running the cold plunge challenge currently. I don't know when this episode is coming out, but we're noticing too, like it's 100. And I'm sorry. It's not 100. It's 10 cold plunges over the period of 30 days. But people even, right. But yeah, right. So people, you actually get a little bit, people are getting used to it quicker, and it's not getting as hard. Well, then I'm like, well, why don't you hop in the sauna first and then try it? So you notice that it really, because you have that vasodilation and it just forces that cold water into it, it's really, you really see it too, right? Mm-hmm. So it's like, as you get better at the cold plunge, and you do, the water, it never gets easier. You just get tougher. But at the same time, like it's a thing. Right. And we see it all the time for sure.
It really helps flush out those toxins, because you're sweating them out with the with the sauna, and then you're pushing them out with the cold plunge. So pretty neat and fascinating when you start diving into the science for that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. What are some other benefits you get from contrast?
The biggest one, and kind of this is anecdotal, but why we started this is I had knee surgery. And this was first knee surgery, 3-4 years ago. And I always mispronounce this, but your perineal nerve or your peroneal nerve, which is basically an extension of your sciatic nerve, but it goes back behind your knee. So my muscles are so big. No, but what was happening is, because I had so much mass in there, the muscle was pinching the nerve, right? And what they did is they went in and released it. So it was a perineal nerve release is what they did. And I have a huge scar on the outside of my leg where they went in and they peeled the muscle back and they released that nerve. Well, when it came back, I had a significant amount of drop foot, right? And so the nerves were not coming back. Nerves come back, they say, at like 1 millimeter per 1/10 of a millimeter per week or something like that. And when I used it, I was going in, and due to the vasodilation, it was pumping blood in and out. With your knee being kind of closer towards an outer extremity, it would pull the blood away and then push it in, and it really, really helped for nerve regeneration. So nerve regeneration and then circulation; those are the two biggest things that I noticed with it. I have really poor circulation to my extremities, my hands. I have that Raynaud's condition, that red, white, and blue disease. So if you notice, like my hands sometimes, whether I'm not nervous or I'm fired up, I've had too much caffeine or it's cold, my hands will turn blue. Yeah. And because it's going out to you, that's because blood isn't rushing necessarily to my extremities. So as we pull it back and then push it back out, it really helps stimulate those nerves and that circulation to basically to your extremities. So those are the two huge use cases that I see for contrast therapy. Those are the two biggest ones for me.
Nice. I like that. For me, I'm all about just the relaxation and rejuvenation. Like, science for me. It's like I go in there and I sauna. I'm already feeling good. And then I finish with that, cold plunge and go back and forth a couple of times. By the end, my anxiety is down. I feel like rejuvenated and ready to go. Like, it's just, I don't know. Like, you come out and you just feel like changed.
I agree.
You just got to do it.
Yeah. No, it's good because it can bring you back then to baseline, right? A lot of times, and when people come in, because we're not, if they're doing the actual contrast therapy, I don't think it really matters as much where you end. But when we're in the store, like people will always ask me, well, how should I play this? And I think it's great. that people want to know, but I think we really dig in on the details too much sometimes. So a lot of times I'll be like, you want to get that sauna and then you want to get a solid cold plunge. But for me, it's like based on the time of day really is what I offer, what I kind of recommend to customers. Because if you're doing a sauna at 10 o'clock in the morning and you're done at 11 o'clock, and when I do sauna, I don't want to do anything afterwards. So I kind of recommend ending it on a plunge to then help you carry you through, right? And then with cold plunge, like if it's the end of the day, then I want you to end it on a sauna, keep all that shorter cold plunge to bring you back to base, or get in the shower and make it a little bit colder, just so that you're kind of, you want to carry that almost like post float glow in the sauna, right? That kind of that, because I don't want to do much after I'm done sauna.
No, not at all.
Right.
So let's talk about some of the research behind this for my science folks out there. The Journal of Physiology, contrast therapy improves blood lactate clearance and reduces muscle soreness post-exercise. Yeah. Definitely see this. We get a lot of the workout gurus in there that are there for muscle recovery consistently once to twice a week, and helps them push through those workouts, be able to work out the next day, not be so sore. So, definitely.
Well, because you're getting the benefits of both, right? So the sauna that we know, we've talked about this before, right? The heat shock proteins, all that stuff. You still are checking that box, all-cause mortality. And then with the cold plunge, you get the inflammation, all that, the endorphin hit. So it's a 1-2 combo for that. But, true contrast therapy, and we'll kind of dig into that, is boom, boom, right away. And it's not this, oh, we're having a time and we're gonna this and we're gonna. It's like it's pain. It is. It's discomfort. So it's but it's all good. It's all good.
The next one is the Frontiers in Physiology in 2014 said that cold water immersion enhances your parasympathetic. I can never pronounce that word. Parasympathetic activity, aka your rest and digest state. So.
Right. All of the things. And it's like I said, you get the benefits of both of the services individually wrapped into one. And then if you're doing it, if you're going immediately to it, you get that nerve regeneration and you get all that stuff, which is in the circulation, which is great. But couple of the protocols for this, I'll dive into this, but the big ones, right, are for your athletes, your weekend warriors, and your post-workout recovery. Why this works is heat really increases the circulation and relaxes the muscles. Cold reduces inflammation and speeds recovery. Combine them together, they work in conjunction. Can't beat it. You can't beat it. So of the protocol, what you want to do for this is what we recommend is 15 to 20 minutes in the sauna at 160 plus. I know that's hot, especially in with the infrareds or with the infrared sauna. It's hot, but you want to be in there. You have to get that hot. The highs matter, right? Yeah. The highs and the lows, because you don't necessarily want to be in there nearly as long. Like cold plunging at 50 degrees, it's great if you're doing a cold plunge, but for this, you want those extremes. Right. So it's taking that because it's forcing, you want that speed of the vasodilation and constriction. That's big. That is real big in this. So the sauna, 15 to 20 minutes at 160 plus, cold plunge 2 to 3 minutes at 39 to 45 degrees. That is on the lower end of cold plunge. Typically cold plunges, I know some of the other people that do similar things don't have their plunge lower than 50. And there is a ton of research at 50-ish for the cold plunges like this. But this one, you want to ramp that thing down as much as possible. And it's no joke, right? Because you have that vasodilation of being in the sauna. It makes it that much harder. It's intense. I'm not going to lie. You want to get 2 to 3 sessions of this. So typically what I'll say is like, hey, 15 minutes in the sauna, 3 minutes in the cold plunge. Let's try to do this 3 times. You can get that knocked out in that hour-long session, right? I've seen a lot of them. My protocol was 5 minutes in the cold plunge, 25 minutes in sauna, and I did that 5 times, right? But nobody has 3 hours to do that, right? Let's be totally honest, right? But I was trying to chase something. It was something that was very important that I couldn't work out. I couldn't do anything. So this was very important to me. It was essentially my workout, and I was doing that every day. It's a huge time thing, but it did help with the nerve regeneration. The doctor we measured nerve they can send tests, right? And they can send signals through, and they're sort of sending it through on my sciatic. And he saw that it had a lot more activity. He was like, "What in the hell are you doing?" And I was like, "It was a cold plunge. It was that." So it was.
Cool.
It really helped. Yeah.
Yeah. And then with this one, you want to end on the cold.
This one I would end on the cold to get rid of that inflammation. Yeah. In a perfect world, yeah, for sure. But it's honestly, it's the back and forth. Yeah, but in a perfect world, we want to end on cold, for sure.
Yeah. So you got 15 minutes in the sauna, high as possible.
Sure.
Cold plunge 2 to 3 minutes, low as possible.
Low as possible.
Do that 2 to 3 times.
Yeah.
End with the cold. You should be good to go for your muscle recovery.
You should be good to go. Muscle recovery, get that nerve regeneration, get that circulation going. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Right. So a couple bonus tips on this is red light therapy after really helps stimulate that ATP, which is your cell energy production, right? You want to get your ATP back up, back running, because you were shocked. I mean, this is a shock. So that's going to kind of bring you back to normal. And then like any of these services or anything like that, you want to make sure you hydrate very well. This protocol is a lot of energy. You're burning calories.
Toxins.
Yes. The toxins. So, maybe, go grab one of the Altered States State of Hydration. Grab one of those on your way out and really hit that up. We could do a whole thing on electrolyte powder and stuff like that. But no, I think in this situation, I think we're a little we use it a little too much, right? Like everybody drinks Gatorades and stuff like that. But I think in this situation, I think it really makes sense to do that because you need those extra electrolytes. You've pushed out so many things.
Yeah.
But yeah. And then the last little science nugget, in the Bison et al. In 2013 found that contrast water therapy can be more effective than passive recovery for reducing DOMS, D-O-M-S, the dreaded DOMS. At 43 years old, me and Mr. DOMS are good friends. So that's delayed onset muscle soreness. So this really pushes that timetable and cuts down the recovery time.
Which is everything.
And
you can make it to one more boot camp.
Exactly. Exactly. As I've gotten older, the next day I'm not necessarily as sore, but 2 and 3 days afterwards, I get so much more sore.
Yeah.
And it's more intense. But this allows it to really cut it down for me, and it really helps. And I'm blessed and fortunate to have these tools at my disposal, and it's really what's kept me going.
Love it.
Yes.
All right. So that's our protocol for muscle recovery and performance. The next protocol is our stress, anxiety, and mental toughness or resilience, if you will. So this is good for people that have those high stress jobs, anxious minds, and tend to hit that burnout, right? Like this is my protocol right here. This is my go-to. I've talked about this so many times about how, when I do contrast therapy, it like changes my entire day with my anxiety. I'm calmer. I'm able to tackle those tough situations. When I stop cold plunging, like even Kyle can
I notice
like
it.
You're like, okay, your anxiety's higher. So if other people notice it, it's working, right? But why this works? Well, contrast therapy helps reset your nervous system. So the heat promotes that endorphin release, which is great for the mood and the mind. And the cold activates your vagus nerve, which is so important when it comes to regulating your emotions, mood, and anxiety. So I'm a true believer in this. It's done wonders for me. So here's the protocol. You do the sauna. You're going to do a little longer in the sauna. So we're looking at 20 to 25. I'll even push it up to 30 minutes sometimes. And while you're in that sauna, to really go next level, do some calming breath work or listen to like some calming music, those sound bowls, like things like that, always helpful, just to kind of give it that extra oomph. But push that sauna a little longer so you're really getting that nice endorphin release and pushing that sweat out. And then you're going to go do the cold plunge. It's okay if the cold plunge is, 40 to 50 degrees, but I prefer colder, the better. Like the more shock I get on that vagus nerve, for me is good. And then 2 to 3 minutes in the cold plunge. Now with this, since you're pushing those sauna sessions, really you're looking at just 1 to 2 times with this. Like you don't have to go back and forth so many times because you're not necessarily pushing or looking for that blood circulation and things like that. So 2 times of this and you're good to go. Or sometimes I'll even push that sauna just to like 30, 35 minutes and then do like a 3-minute cold plunge and call it a day. And like I've got that reset. And what's great about this is like you can do this in a 30-minute session. And like we have Fire and Ice 30-minute sessions now. It's a great, quick, easy, knock out that anxiety, feel calmer and reset for the day. And for those of us that are reaching burnout, time is usually of the essence. You need that time. So a quick 30-minute reset, it's a game changer.
Absolutely.
It's great. Like I love this. It's my Sunday go-to. It's my midweek go-to. It's great.
Yeah, you can tell when we have we have a blow up portable cold plunge, and if you're in the DFW area, you've probably seen us with it all over the place. And so when it's not at events, it's in our garage.
Yeah.
Right. And we've been doing a ton of events lately. So it hasn't been in our garage that much. So JoJo has not been cold plunging nearly as much. And you can tell when I feel her anxiety's getting higher, I'll be in there filling it up for her. I'll be like, hey, babe, I got you. Like, it's good. And she's like, well, do I feel anxious? Am I getting anxious and ornery? I was like, no, but I got you, babe. Yeah.
Yeah. We're going to stop at one of the stores after this. So I might get a cold plunge in then.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Our pro tip for this one is to use those binaural beats in the sauna to help guide the brain into relaxation. Research binaural beats if you're not familiar. Some pretty cool stuff on that. You can also listen to those if you go in our float sessions. So
yeah.
And then our science nugget for this one is that cold exposure can increase norepinephrine. Norepinephrine. I hear the word, but saying the word.
Tongue twister, yes.
By 200 to 300%, which helps regulate your mood and improve your focus. And it's so true. Like my mood is just so much better. I feel more focused. I'm like ready to go. It's the best reset. It's one of those things that's so hard to explain until you do it. So if you haven't tried it yet, get in there and do it.
Yeah, and we were at a yoga event 2 weekends ago, and it was pretty cool because we got to see a lot of I get a lot of this, and I'm, my lane is a lot of the athletes and the recovery and stuff like that. But I don't necessarily focus as much on the breath work and the details. I'm kind of just white knuckling the thing. Well, we had this lady go in, and she was a breathwork expert. We're actually probably going to have her out or whatever. And it was fantastic. And she was going in the cold plunge, and she was going, and it sounded so ridiculous. And I was like, what in the heck is this lady doing? But it was so awesome. And I was like, what are you doing? Right. Yeah. And she was like, well, she's like, I do that because it helps focus on the exhale.
Yeah.
She goes, and that helps you regulate your breath and everything on the exhale, because we want to gulp air when you're in there. And she was sitting there going, and I was just like, oh, okay. So I don't tell people to do that in the store, but I've been telling people now lately to really focus on that exhale to take away that initial shock. It's just extended long exhale, so you're not gasping, and that can really help. So that was a little pro tip and a nugget I thought was pretty cool.
We had some next level plungers at that event.
It was cool.
People were going in and then putting their head in the ice at the same time, so their face was getting that cold exposure. People pushing 12 minutes. It was fun.
Yeah, it was really cool. You just learn something all the time. We know a lot about this, but it's you're always down. There's always little nuggets to do it better and to learn. So I love it. I'm never defensive about any of that. It's just whatever makes it better or whatever works for you, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure. So we'll move into the next one, and that's the protocol for deep sleep and nervous system reset. This is obviously the best for people struggling with insomnia, late night stress, or people who wake up tired. For me, I have no problems falling asleep. It's that staying asleep, right? That second and third sleep cycle.
Yeah.
I'll have to go take a leak or the dog or something, but I fall asleep and then I wake back up. But this protocol is best for that. Why this works is it helps raise the body's temperature, and the post sauna cool down triggers melatonin production internally, right? Instead of taking a pill or anything like that. And melatonin's key too, right? Because when you add melatonin exogenously, which is taking a pill, right? Then your body stops producing it naturally, right? So this is a nice way to do it naturally within yourself, right? It triggers that melatonin production kind of a natural way. And we all know we take melatonin all the time for sleep. And then what cold does is it briefly activates your nervous system and brings down the inflammation, prepping the body for that deep rest, right? which is fantastic. I get that kind of dead leg thing. I train. I don't like training. I'll go for a walk in the morning, but I don't like training in the morning. I like training in the afternoons and the evenings. So, but then if if I get done at 6:30, by the time I've eaten, I have a hard time winding back down. This right here really helps. This is a different protocol, and I really like this one.
Mm-hmm.
So this protocol that we do is, hitting the sauna for 20 to 30 minutes in the evening, ideally an hour to 2 hours before bed, and then do the cold plunge 30 to 60 seconds max, right? So hit it quick. It's a quick and dirty thing right here, right? And you're only going to do that one time. You don't want to put a ton of stress on your body because you're about to go to sleep, right? And then a lot of times, and sometimes I'll do the plunge first, and it really depends on like the time of year. I like to, now I'm hitting the cold plunge after because I want to bring my body temperature down because I don't want to sweat all night, right? And it's hot. It's the end of June here in Texas, and it's 100 degrees out already.
You don't want to
so
be
I'm
sweating.
already sweating. I don't want to soak the sheets and get sweaty all over JoJo there. But that kind of brings your temperature back down and really helps that. The idea with this then too, another pro tip for this, if you just add a float therapy session on once a week, that can really help reset your sleep cycle. You get into theta, that can help, with your, what do they call that? Your internal clock. I'm blanking on that, but whatever, your circadian rhythm and all that stuff, it resets all that. So pairing the two of those together, fantastic sleep tip, 100%.
Yeah. And the reason you don't want to do a long cold plunge is because it's the same thing as you don't want to sweat all night. You also don't want to be freezing all night because believe me, I've made this mistake. I've ended with the cold plunge. I, tried to push for like 4 or 5 minutes and then I lay in bed and I'm literally shivering all night. So that doesn't help your sleep. So, if you're looking for that sleep protocol, just push that sauna to 30 minutes, jump in the cold plunge to cool yourself down. And then you'll sleep like a baby. I'm telling you, you advocate for this all the time, but it helps my sleep so much. I can tell when I sauna, I wake up and I'm like, I slept hard and long, so.
Yeah, I don't take any sleep supplements or anything like that. Before I was doing a lot of like the gummies and stuff that we have at the store and the melatonins and stuff, but I just wake up more groggy the next day. I'll sleep great, but I have a hard time turning it back on, where this does the exact same thing. But I feel fine the next day, a lot more clear-headed and everything like that. Yeah. So it's a big pro tip. It's been a huge asset for us. Just another science nugget here for this. 2019 review in Sleep Medicine Reviews confirmed that thermoregulation, which is what we're doing here, right? The hot and the cold, plays a key role in sleep onset and quality, meaning fall asleep faster. When you do fall asleep, the quality of sleep that you're getting is better, and especially in deep restorative sleep. So those delta waves, those thetas and deltas, right? When REM sleep is your delta brain waves. You guys have these everybody's these sleep trackers, and as you look at it, the delta is that's that deep sleep, that deep restorative restful sleep. So it's there, guys. It works. Good. It's fantastic. Yes.
Awesome. So our last protocol is for immune support and longevity, both great things just for your general health. If you're looking to support that immune system so you're not getting sick, and really boost that longevity. So we're feeling good, having that better quality of life, living longer is the goal. So those that want to, stay well year round and looking for that long-term wellness benefits, like I just said. So why this works is because heat exposure increases white blood cell count and supports the detoxification, getting rid of the things, those toxins that we get in our bodies just from our environment, right? Like the culture, the food we eat, the things we breathe in. We want to push those out. And then the cold boosts that immune response and strengthens your body's stress adaptation mechanism. So all around just great. I know if you follow like Wim Hof, who does like the extreme cold exposure, he talks about how he's like never sick, the immune benefits that he gets. So it's definitely there. So for this protocol, you want to do 20 minutes in the sauna, and then you're going to cold plunge for just 2 to 3 minutes. And then you're going to want to do this 3 to 4 times. So you're pushing up those rounds a little bit here. And then you are ending on that cold because that's what's going to really boost that immune system and keep that body stimulated. So, really pushing the rounds on this is key, and ending on the cold. So, yeah.
And a cool add-on for all this is take those minerals and electrolytes post-session. Zinc, magnesium, and trace minerals, they're often depleted throughout sweating.
Yes.
So right back, not to sell you something, but that state of hydration, that's the one right there. So it's great during, I'll mix up a little thing with some ice and do that, or I'll just chug one right afterwards. So it's fantastic.
Yeah, you're pushing out the bad stuff, so you want to put in some good stuff while you're at it. Our science nugget here is that frequent sauna use 4 to 7 times a week is associated with a 50% reduction in cardiovascular disease and all-cause mortality. We talk about this all the time. Yep. I mean, I don't know how you hear that and not instantly jump to start using the sauna like multiple times a week. I mean,
it's so easy.
It's so easy. You sit there and then you feel better afterwards. Like it's like instant gratification. Yet you're also helping yourself long term. I mean,
the consistency, even like 2 times a week, the all-cause mortality goes down like 30%.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Which is so doable. Like pop in twice a week for a 30-minute fire and ice. Like done. Awesome.
Yeah. So it's pretty much, pretty basic, guys, right? Hot, cold, repeat. It's way more than just a wellness trend. It's a tool, right? These are tools that we use, the tools that people use to feel better, to help live longer, things like that. It's a daily or weekly ritual that can literally retrain your body and brain to feel better, all backed by science. It'll help you handle stress like a champ, and recover like your favorite pro athlete, or recover like you did when you were 25, right? That's kind of, I'd like to recover like I did when I was 35. But that really kind of turns back the clock. I always say it helps, when I turned like 33, that rubber band didn't snap back as much. And this really helps with that. I notice it now more when I don't do things like that. So, if you're working on things like sleep, mental clarity, physical recovery, or just trying to feel better, contrast therapy is an absolute game changer. But this is key here. Do not overthink it. Start simple, start slow. 30-second cold plunge is a win,
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Go in with a game plan, and ask if you're floating, but if you're coming in and doing a fire and ice with us, we go through this stuff. If you go somewhere else that doesn't lend this knowledge, just focus on the basics. Try to start right before you dig into everything. Get comfortable with it. I generally start with like, how am I going to end it based on the time of day, and then kind of go from there, right? The devil is in the details, yes, but also you just want to build consistency here, and you don't want to get overrun. Well, should I do this for 30 seconds less? It's a lot more, the consistency of it and simply doing it is a lot more valuable than 30 seconds more here or a minute and a half more here. So don't get overrun by the details, right?
Yeah, hopefully you wrote some of these down. And if you didn't, maybe go back and just jot them down. But as you try these things, like make a little wellness journal of what you tried that week in your fire and ice sessions and how it helped you. Like maybe it didn't help your muscle recovery. So go back and adjust some things. But I love like tracking things and seeing what's helping. Like, oh, my anxiety helped that way. So it's always great to journal and kind of keep track of what's working, what's not working, what you want to lean in on more. So if you have not been in to try out contrast therapy, go book a fire and ice session at one of our locations and try it out. Just try out one of these protocols, see how you like it. We'll, like Kyle said, give you extra tips and make sure you're really comfortable when you get in there. But your nervous system should thank you after that and your muscles. So, and maybe your sleep too. So many different benefits from this. It's so versatile. And as you can see, like it can help with so many different things in your health. So get in there and try it if you haven't.
Yeah, go in there, and the rooms they're private. It's just your room. There's nobody. You're not doing it amongst a community. You can feel comfortable. You can kind of let it all hang out. You can cuss while you're in the cold plunge, and no one will judge you. I might if I'm walking by, but no, it's all there for you guys, and we are there to guide you in this. We want you guys to get the most, and that's why we do this. Yeah. We want you to get the most benefit out of this. We understand that you are putting in time and money, and we don't want that to be a waste, and that's what we're here for sure. So,
yep. Awesome. Well, until next time, we will see you guys on the next episode.